We're here today with Chris Upham with the Upham Group, serving Alexandria in the Washington, D.C. area. And Chris, you're one of the charter members of the National Association of Expert Advisors and also a certified home selling advisor. I'd like to ask you a few questions about how you're adding value to the home selling experience specifically, and what you're doing for sellers in the Alexandria and Washington, D.C. area that's helping them to sell their homes for much more than what other homes are selling for in the market today.
Sure, Jay, I appreciate you having me here. We're masterminding this week with some of the top agents in the nation of how we can best serve our clients and bring the most value to them. And some of the principles that we have with the NAEA is a proven set of systems that guarantees to get homes sold for up to 18% more money than the methods of traditional agents. And specifically, we've identified that there are about 115 variables involved with the home selling process that influence the price swing effect. And that if the agent that home sellers hire for the job of getting their home sold proactively manages those 115 variables, homes sell at the top of the market. But if the agent that they hire for the job of getting homes sold does not proactively manage those 115 variables, or worse yet, doesn't even know what some of them are, they're going to attract lower offers on their home, or worse yet, no offers at all.
Okay, Chris. So let's talk to some of the potential homeowners that are out there thinking about selling their home. And now across the country, we know from masterminding with top agents around the country, they're using this system effectively to sell homes for the most amount of money in their market, is that homes are selling fast. So there's really not a fear that your home won't sell in today's market, but the real fear seems to be across the country, and especially in markets like yours, is that the home you may be leaving a lot of money on the table, meaning you're selling the home for less than what you actually could have attracted had you positioned the home in the market correctly. What are you seeing happening in your market related to that?
Well, this is in fact the amazing point, and you're absolutely right. In our market, homes are selling fast. They're typically selling, in fact, every home we've sold this year has sold generally less than a week with multiple offers and often for more than the list price. But what we're finding is that the homes that the Upham Group is listing and selling are selling for more money, and oftentimes tens of thousands of dollars more than other homes just like it. Matter of fact, we've got a couple of situations right now where there was a home that we listed for sale. The homeowner came to us with very high expectations of what they wanted to sell. Matter of fact, it was about 10% more than anything had ever sold for in their neighborhood. Wow. And usually we're trying to rein homeowners back in their expectations of try to be realistic with what the market is. But in this case, we took this home through our certified home sale process. We proactively managed all these 115 variables, and we got their homes. We not only met, but we exceeded this homeowner's expectations and sold their home for more than 10% more than anything had ever sold for in the market. The challenge then became when the buyer's appraiser came out. The buyer's appraiser was wondering, how in the world can we justify that this house sold for this much money? And specifically brought up two other properties exactly like this home that were also currently under contract but were $20,000 less. And I said, well, I'm sorry that those agents weren't able to sell them for $20,000 more, but we actually then had to go through the process of specifically line by line justifying why our client's home was going to be worth selling for that much more money. Matter of fact, we got it to the closing table for $24,000 more than the other people had been able to get their home sold for. That was $24,000 in my client's pocket that the neighbor 2 doors down from them did not get. There was another client that came to us and said, hey, listen, we've got this condo and we think that it can sell, in this particular case, it was a 1-bedroom condo for $360,000. That's what we think we can get. That is what the best anything sold for in the last year. So I said, great, we'll set out to follow our process, our certified home sale process, and proactively manage these 115 variables. Turns out we ended up recommending that they place their home on the market for $429,000. That was going to be $60,000, $70,000 more than the best of what they thought they could get. The home seller's like, I don't even know. But they said, we'll believe it when we see it. I said, well, look, listen to me. Let's just try it out. They wanted to try to put their home on the market for $390,000. So I said, let's just try it out. Well, in the first weekend, we had 2 offers that were competing with each other, and we ended up getting their home sold for $436,000.
Wow.
$76,000 more than the best than what they thought they could hope for.
Yeah, that's a great story. Now, traditionally, there's been, the average real estate agent, and we refer to them as an AFA, the average frustrated agent that's maybe only selling a handful of homes a year. They typically will come into meet with the seller and make them a lot of empty promises. And what we like to say at NAEA is that promises don't sell homes, process does, right? So what is the difference between any old agent that comes in and says, oh, well, we could sell your home for $429, because that happens. And a lot of sellers are definitely wary of unrealistic expectations, and they're looking really for the right advice to attract the highest offer in the marketplace. Not just to overprice their home to get it on the market, to get the right price that sells it, that attracts the perfect offer and even above the listed price. What is it specifically? Let's give the homeowners some that may be watching or considering hiring you to represent them in the sale of their home. What are some of the things specifically in managing these 115 variables? What are a couple of the magic bullets that you're doing that's different in your approach that allows you to help attract such a high offer on a home?
Well, specifically with our certified home sale process, the first thing we do when a home seller enrolls their home into our home selling process is we start off with a professional staging consultation. We know that a home buyer is going to make the decision. They're going to have their best first impressions within 8 seconds of walking into the home. So we know that we have to optimize the home for the buyer's experience. And so that's the very first thing that we're going to do, is we're going to work on the condition of the property to make it to the absolute best to optimize the buyer's experience. The next is that we're going to have a professional home inspection come in. We know that during the buyer's home inspection contingency, they'll have an opportunity to ask for repairs, sometimes thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars repairs, or even cancel the contract and walk away, which that too can end up costing the seller precious time and thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. So we'll identify up front with a professional home inspection if there's any deal breakers that we need to address and have dealt with prior to putting it on the market. Finally, one of probably the next biggest keys to this is we bring in our professional pricing team with our certified home sale pre-listing appraisal. And this is not just any appraisal. Every single appraisal has different purposes, whether it's for a refinance or for a purchase. This specifically is saying, what is this home going to sell for when we put it on the market 2 weeks from now? And our pricing team is held accountable to me for results. And we find that when we follow this process, we end up exceeding expectations.
Okay, Chris, so tell me another story of a seller. And I love the fact that you're adding value to the relationship between the real estate professional and the homeowner. I mean, that's really what NAEA stands for. It's really what an expert advisor is all about. And being a certified home selling advisor is one of the toughest designations to ever actually get. So I'm proud of the work that you've put in and the effort you put in to manage this process. And I love hearing the stories. Tell me, what has been your best story to date with using the program to sell the homes for the most amount of money?
Get this, Jay. We had a home buyer who was moving into the Old Town Alexandria area, and they were purchasing a home there, and they needed to sell their condo in Logan Circle in downtown Washington, D.C. And this was one of these ultra luxury condos, 2 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, 2 levels, rooftop deck, sells for over $1 million. And so we began the process and asked them, what do you think your home will sell for? And they said, well, probably about $1.3 million. And they began to tell the story that last year they had hired Sotheby's, fine, reputable organization, admire them quite a bit, and they had put it on the market for $1.35 million. And it sat, and it languished, and the price dropped to 1.2, 1.1. The price ended up being at $1,079,000, and it had failed to sell. So they started the process with us. They enrolled in our certified home sale process. We went through the 115 variables. We actually ended up recommending that they put their home on the market for $1.475 million.
Wow.
And in the first weekend, we had 3 offers where they were not contingent on home inspections, they were not contingent on appraisals or financing, that started at the list price and went up. As a matter of fact, one buyer was willing to pay $1.62 million. With the escalation clauses, this property ended up selling for $1.515 million, $435,000 more than it had failed to sell with Sotheby's last year. And as a matter of fact, the killer on this was there was a home buyer that had come to the property, that visited it, who had been looking at it and considering buying it last year. And they were kicking themselves that they didn't buy it then, and it was now selling for $435,000 more this year with our certified home sale program than it failed to sell last year with Sotheby's.
Wow, that's a great story and a great testimonial to the effort that goes into being an expert advisor and really truly helping the homeowner make the right decision to sell their home for the most amount of money, and more importantly, put the most amount of money in your pocket. So there you have it, Alexandria, DC area. If you're looking to hire a true expert advisor to advise you on the home selling process, to put the most amount of money in your pocket, call Chris Upham with the Upham Group. It's been a pleasure talking with you, Chris. Keep up the good work.
All right, thanks for having me, Jay.